All right, welcome to this live session. It's been a very long time since we conducted a live session in this forum. Well, today, just for the sake of discussion, I just want to keep you updated with the market condition, just so you know why we have not been trading. Okay. All right, looking into the Forex Factory economical calendar for today, you will see that we have an early Chinese data release that caused some market volatility, and we are expecting news and heavy news announcement from the sterling pounds axis, Canadian dollar axis, and the last one again from the sterling pounds axis. These are the remaining high impact news announcement for today. All right, so you want to keep tab with those currency crosses or sterling pounds crosses and all Canadian dollar crosses around that news release hour. All right, let's look into the charts. Basically, price is being moved by a news announcement. Price is being moved by fundamental events. When the market goes sideways, it tends to wait until another fundamental event, and that's because there are just too much global uncertainties that are going to affect the forex market. Brexit is there, OPEC is there. There are just so many global fundamental uncertainties that is affecting the forex market at this time. Most of the market movers are on the sideline. They're still waiting. I am sure all of that is going to clear off. Okay. All right. Let's look at the American dollar against the Japanese yen. Like I said, you can see how price just gave a straight movement. All right, straight movement up to that area, then it has now gone sideways. All right, in all of this, it is extremely difficult to trade the market in this type of condition. At best, what we want to see is a move, pull back, all right, to form a level of support. From there on, we look for another push to the upside, then pull back again, push to the upside. That's a nice trending scenario, but in this case we are never given any opportunity to jump on board in that movement. Okay, looking into the daily time frame for the American dollar against Japanese yen, we can confidently keep a trend line, even though it is not yet confirmed because price has not taken out the previous swing high. That high is still there. This trend line is not yet confirmed, but we're having harmonic bounces of that zone, so we can keep that line. So we can also keep the level here. Let me just show you that. We can also keep this level. That is key. All right, we can keep this level that double bounces right here as our level of resistance, which is also very close to the previous swing high right here. Okay, so price right now is facing resistance zone. Okay, if that level breaks, if it gives way to the upside, then we might see more upside to that next area of resistance. All right, but as it is extremely hard to trade in this low volume market. You can see how price went sideways. It is extremely hard to trade in that type of market condition. However, if price breaks to the downside, then we'll be looking for pullbacks to retest this former level of support, this line here, for us to look for a drop to the downside. Okay, so let price move away from this area. The market volume is just too low. All right, let's take a look into the sterling pounds against the Japanese yen in this pair in the daily time frame. As you can see, we are following that pattern. We're following this flat bottom triangle, where we're actually waiting for price to come to the downside to give us a breakout pullback reversal move against that original push to the upside. But that never happened. In fact, we took a short entry there. We were in some nice profit for over 100 pips. We kept that trade on until price changed the pattern, went back up, taking us out for a break-even position. Well, that was quite sad, but there is nothing we can do about it. We gave the trade a fair chance. The only thing is that we gave our monies back into the market. Right now you can see how price has broken above the upper boundary of that triangle, and we are now seeing what looks like the breakout pullback continuation move. Okay, that is very likely going to happen in the light of let me zoom in. In the light of this new pattern, let's take out this line. This is what we are anticipating right now. Connect these lows. It's a channel that hints the overall move to the downside. All right, so that's it. You can see how price has been bouncing off that level. All right, so chances are that it is going to push back up to the upper boundary of these levels, where we have gotten 2 bounces already, and where we are likely going to be seeing some confluence around that zone. So if price pushes to that area right there, we'll be very happy to look for short opportunities back down, where we have also the weekly level of resistance around that area. Okay, so this is what we are expecting. Unless price breaks to the downside, we will not be very ready to go short in this pair for now. Price might be pushing to the upside to that very zone. All right, let's look into the next pair, the euro against the American dollar. Well, we have over analyzed this pair before. I just want to show you the possibility of a channel in the daily time frame. We have these 2 bounces to the upside, which has been confirmed. Okay, that bounce there and this one here. We drew this before. We anticipated this channels before. Okay, this looks like a fake breakout to the downside. All right, we consider that a fake breakout. These are confirmed bounces to the upside, so you can see the channel formation. So chances are that the euro against the American dollar can go all the way up to that area before we can see a bounce to the downside or a breakout to the upside. So if you're looking to trade this pair, be very hesitant going short, although price is in the middle of nowhere right now, and the market volume for the past few days has been horrible. You can see the mini-H of price there. Price has just been sideways, which is a difficult thing to trade. Okay, we will not trade here. It is extremely hard to trade in that type of market, but given this pattern, you want to be very hesitant going short, because price is likely going to push back up to retest that area of resistance. Okay, all right, in the forward time frame, nothing really, just that little minor price behavior, more of a channel. You can see the zigzag right there. It is hard to trade. The 1 hour time frame is a total mess. We can have that as a range. Okay, sideways, it's a total mess, difficult one. Looking into the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen, the Australian dollar has been really strong for the past few days. In the daily time frame, we saw that breakout pullback, a continuation move, but in a very ugly fashion. Also, even though the Australian dollar has been strong, the market volume has been very thin. You can see that little movement right here. In the 4 hours time frame, someone was asking me of a 3 SMA valid entry, so let's look at that. Remember, in the 3 SMA strategy, you want the first bounce to happen. All right, you don't want to trade the first bounce, but in this case, the first bounce happened, couldn't take out the previous swing high, came back again, bounce again, couldn't take out the previous high. Then from there on, we saw the push to the upside. So effectively, we got that range formation in form of a triangle. All right, we were actually following this, and in this, as soon as the first breakout happened, you want to see the first swing pullback to breakout points before you can take a buy entry. Besides, we couldn't take the breakout pullback anything around in here at that top, because we have the red line. That's the daily level of resistance. Trading there implies that you're trading against the daily level of resistance. Now we wanted a full swing pullback into the dynamic area of support in this case, but that didn't happen. You can see how price fell shy. It bounced out of the dynamic area of support, then to the upside. We always want the bounce to happen within the dynamic area of support and resistance. Here there was just no opportunity to jump on board. Okay, so no trade was taken and no opportunity was missed. All right, let's see the next pair in this. Sorry, before I wrap this up, let me just show you that it might be also late you really need to be careful, because price can also find resistance. Price can be trading around some problematic zones. Okay, even though the Australian dollar is strong, across most of the Australian dollar pairs that I have looked at, they are actually trading around their levels of support and resistance. So in this case, for the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen, you can see how price, anytime price comes around that area, it finds resistance. So you should be very careful to go long against that area, because it could be resistance, and anytime price comes here, it finds support. So you should be very careful hitting on your sell button against that line. It could act as support. At any rate, the market volume is low, and this is a channel. Don't be surprised to see the overall move being a solid breakout to the downside. So be very careful unless price breaks above that level. All right, well, before I go, I am not saying you should hit on your sell button here, please. That is extreme risk. I don't do that. There is no value setup here for me, and so I am not taking any trade. The American dollar against the Swiss franc, this is just a similar price behavior that we are talking in the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen. As you can see in the 4 hours time frame, price has been in a channel. All right, in the channel where we have this as support and this one here as resistance. Right now price is trading around that problematic zone, so you should be very hesitant going long around the problematic zone. The market volume is just too thin. Okay, it's too thin. I am not saying you should go short around that area. Please don't do that, except if it conforms with your strategy. In this case, it doesn't conform with my strategy. There is no entry here for me at this time, and so we are not taking any trade in this pair. My friend also asked of the 3 SMA strategy here. If you fire in the 3 SMA indicator, well, we got a mild setup, but really an ugly one. That's the bounce right there. Okay, that's the bounce right there. That's because we got the first bounce of the dynamic area of support. It went up, came back down, bouncing again. Well, we could have taken this, we could have taken the entry right there, our stop loss somewhere in there, but as you can see, it happened quite late into this day. That was the closing of the day, and we will not want to take any entry, any late entry into the day. As you can see, much of hesitation before price now pushed to the upside. We don't regret this because it happened quite late. We always want to trade within the busy hour of our busy session of the forex market. Okay, so that's it. Let's say that's a valid entry there on the bounce of that dynamic area of support, then push to the upside, and now sitting around resistance zone, which is also the projection bands, so you want to be careful around that area. All right, the Australian dollar against the Swiss franc. Like I said, the Australian dollar could be facing multiple resistance zone. Here in the daily time frame, you can see that swing high right there coming in confluence with a weekly level as resistance, so you should be careful going long around that zone. In the 4 hours time frame, it's a steep one. Okay, it's a steep trend line. This actually was even trending in a better fashion, but the fact remains that it didn't really conform with our entry strategies, and so we didn't take the trade. I think my attention was also called to this as a solid 3 SMA setup. Well, I am sorry, the trend was not a healthy one. Even though we got the first bounce here off the dynamic area of support, you can see how price just kept crashing outside. Okay, the dynamic area of support. That is not the type of trend you want to trade. You always want to see price dip into the dynamic area before a push, dip into the dynamic area before a push. So you can actually see that these are bad pullbacks, and we will not want to trade them. Okay, right now price is facing resistance. You should be hesitant hitting on your buy button. The American dollar against the Canadian dollar. Well, this pair, in my opinion, for over a very long period of time is supposed to be going to the downside, but unfortunately we have entered into sideways price behavior, a very hard one indeed to trade. Today should be a down day. All right, today price should be down. I expect to see some pushes right somewhere in the air, then coming back down again. If you're interested, you can keep an eye here, but the price action, this overall range is a terrible one, and for me, it is a holiday. I shouldn't even be trading here for now. Okay, look at what's been going on here. You can see just ugly price action, and that happens everywhere. Now let's look at the one that concerns us, the euro against the Australian dollar. Unfortunately, you can see what's been going on for the past several days. Price has just been zigzagging around that area. Well, this is an area of resistance. This is also an area of support. Resistance here, support here. As it is now, it is difficult to predict. Anything can happen. It is tilted more to the downside as we kept on having a lower swing highs and lower swing lows. All right, it is tilted more to the downside. We just have to bear, do nothing, just wait and see what happens around this daily level of support. Okay, Australian dollar against the American dollar, where price is also trading around resistance zone. It has been a market of very thin volume. You can see that very heavy hesitation there. Quite a difficult one. We can go on, and you are going to be seeing all of that. Just look at the thin market volume around that area. The market is only moved by news announcement. See what happened here for those traders forcing trades around that area. Forcing trades around here. Don't be surprised that some traders, upon this push to the downside, they hit on their sell button, not minding the news announcement, and you can see that spike to the upside, taking out all stop losses for them, which is a very terrible one. So ranges continue, range upon range, ugly price behavior, very thin market volume. You can see the much hesitation around here in this case. Very difficult market condition to trade. The best thing you want to do is to take a break, avoid the charts, keep watching. Once we have live back into the market, we'll definitely find those value trading opportunities and we will trade them accordingly. Okay, well, your questions or contributions are welcome. Please send them across. We'll be very happy to respond to them at any time. We are glad you are still there. Just hang in there. Once the forex market comes back to life, we will take trades as usual. We are not out of the market. We are still in the market, very active, and we believe that this slow price action will soon be over. Thanks again. We'll talk again if need be anytime that we find something interesting. To have a profitable day. Bye bye.